Hey there. So you're looking to get up to speed quickly, right? Dive deep into knowledge without spending hours wading through everything.
That's what we do best.
Exactly. And you've sent over some really interesting stuff for today, April 28th, 2025. We've got an astrological forecast from Texcale and a tarot reading via Tarot by High C.
A good combination to explore.
Right. So our mission, as always, is to dig into these, pull out the really key nuggets, the important bits for you. We want to give you a clear picture of the day's energy, its potential, drawing on both the stars and the cards.
Okay, let's jump in. What stands out first from the astrology is this buildup of energy, particularly as we head into the evening.
Okay, building energy.
Yeah, and it's supported by this interesting mix of um, innovation, but also practicality
Mm.
and harmony. It's just that, new ideas or changes you're thinking about could actually stick.
Oh, sustainable changes.
Uh,
Nice. Not just flashes in the pan.
exactly. But you do need to ground them. It's not just about the exciting idea. It's about, okay, what's the first real step I can take?
Right, right, making it real. But the forecast also mentions something about erratic energy, like up and down.
Yeah, that's definitely in there. You might feel really uh, energetic, kind of on edge, and then suddenly quite tired. Like the universe gives you a jolt, then says, okay, rest, stop.
Okay, good to know. So we don't think we're going crazy if that happens.
Huh, right. And there's this concept of lightning strikes. Unexpected things, maybe opportunities, maybe disruptions that suddenly show you something new about a situation you thought you knew inside out.
Ooh, I like that image, like a hidden door revealed.
Precisely. And the advice is actually to lean into that, like say yes to those last minute things, those slightly weird ideas.
Wow.
It's about embracing spontaneity.
So less rigidity, more adaptability.
That's the core message, really. And it links to this constructive flow mentioned between our emotional needs, our responsibilities, and our pleasures.
Also.
Well, it suggests these areas are working together today, making it potentially easier to understand your feelings and see how they connect to what you need to do and what you actually enjoy doing. Finding a balance where they support each other.
Okay, balancing act. And that ties into the structure versus freedom thing, right? Innovate, but don't cause chaos. Find joy, but keep it within bounds.
You got it. It's like think outside the box, but the box is still there for reference. Don't throw it away completely. The main thing is flexibility. If plan A hits a wall, be ready with plan B, or even just willing to pause and see what emerges.
Got it. Flexibility is key.
Definitely. Now, looking specifically at the evening and tonight, things get a bit more focused astrologically. We've got the Taurus moon conjunct Uranus in the evening.
Okay, moon conjunct Uranus in Taurus. What does that mean in plain English?
Okay. It means a really strong urge to break free from your routine. Taurus loves comfort, stability, the usual. Uranus is planet of sudden change, rebellion, the unexpected. Put them together like that.
Sparks fly. A desire to shake things up.
Exactly. You might just suddenly want something totally different. A spontaneous trip, a radical change of plans, just anything but the same old thing.
Okay, potential for restlessness then.
Could be. But then tonight, the moon makes two helpful connections, sextiles. One to Saturn, one to Venus.
Sextiles are generally supportive aspects.
Yes, they represent opportunities and easy flow. The sextile to Saturn helps balance that Uranian urge for freedom with our sense of duty and responsibility. It brings some
Oh.
grounding.
Ah, so not just ditching everything impulsively.
Right, and the sextile to Venus adds a layer of warmth, focusing on feelings of love, connection, friendship. So even if you're shaking things up, you're still considering your commitments and relationships.
Okay, so it's like inspired change, but with awareness. Interesting balance.
It is. Now, let's switch over to the TarotScope. We have the Rider card, but reversed.
The rider reversed. That definitely shifts the energy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Upright. It's all about news, speed, messages arriving.
But reversed. It often points towards delays. Things not arriving when expected. Missed opportunities, perhaps, or a feeling of stagnation, like you're stuck.
Yeah, false starts, messages getting lost or misunderstood. It feels almost like the opposite of that quick Uranian energy we were just talking about.
It does seem contradictory at first glance.
I thought the advice was really intriguing. Listen to the spaces between the words. What do you make of that?
I think it means paying attention to what isn't being said. The pauses, the hesitations, maybe the subtext. And that other piece of advice, not every race needs to be run. It suggests there's value in stillness sometimes, in not pushing forward relentlessly.
So if things feel slow or unclear today, maybe that's the message.
It could well be. The reversed rider signals that feeling of halted momentum. Communications might be delayed, opportunities postponed, though importantly, usually postponed, not canceled altogether.
That's a key point. Postpone, not gone forever. Good reminder not to jump to conclusions if news doesn't arrive on time.
Definitely. And there's a caution, too, about maybe unreliable information or messages getting mixed up, like that game of telephone.
So double-checking things is probably a good idea today. Plans, messages, commitments.
Absolutely crucial. And you might feel that restlessness, wanting to move but not knowing where to go.
Yeah.
That's classic rider-reversed frustration.
But the tarot usually frames these things as an opportunity, right?
It does. It's a chance to slow down, maybe recalibrate your direction, and tune into those quieter signals, the unspoken stuff.
Okay, so let's try and weave these together. We've got astrology hinting at sudden bursts of energy, lightning strikes, unexpected opportunities.
And the tarot talking about delays, stagnation, things feeling stuck with the rider reversed.
Mhm.
How do those fit?
Well, maybe those astrological lightning strikes, those sudden opportunities feel like disruptions at first, because they knock you off your expected path, creating that sense of delay or things being stalled, like the rider reverse suggests.
That's a really interesting way to connect them.
Yeah.
Yes. An unexpected opportunity forces a pause, doesn't it? It makes you stop and rethink. That sudden event is the delay to your original plan.
And then the astrological advice to be flexible makes even more sense. If the tarot says accept the delay, and the astrology says be adaptable.
Then maybe the best way through is not to fight the pause, but to use it. Use that unexpected halt to reassess, like the rider reversed invites us to.
Okay, I see that. And what about those evening aspects? That urge to break routine, Moon Uranus, but also balancing emotions and duty, Moon Saturn, and the focus on connection, Moon Venus. How does that play with potential delays or misunderstandings from the tarot?
Good question. Well, perhaps that urge to break routine, the Moon Uranus energy, is actually what helps you navigate a delay creatively instead of just getting frustrated.
You find a completely different way to spend that waiting time or a new angle.
Exactly. And the Moon-Saturn connection could provide this stability to handle the uncertainty. Okay, this message is delayed, but my responsibilities are still here. I can focus on those.
And the Venus connection.
Maybe that reminds you to lean on your connections for support if you're feeling frustrated by delays, or to be extra clear and patient in communications to avoid misunderstandings with loved ones.
It all starts to layer together quite nicely, actually. It reminds me of the story you shared, The Waiting Path, about Ilan waiting for that letter.
Ah, yes, Alan. That story really captures the rider reverse, doesn't it? The expectation of quick news, the rider symbol.
Yeah, but then she hits all those obstacles, the confusing paths, the washed out trail, the rumors. It mirrors that feeling of delay and stagnation perfectly.
And you feel her impatience building, that sense of momentum just stopping.
But the key moment is by the stream, isn't it, when she has that realization?
The pivot. When she realizes the silence itself might be the message, that she was just chasing movement for movement's sake.
That's such a powerful insight. Finding peace in the pause, trusting the timing. It connects so well back to the astrology's call for flexibility and going with the flow. She stopped fighting the delay.
Exactly. She realized the answer might not even be in the letter, or that it would come when it was meant to. It's a beautiful illustration for today,
And it leads us right into the mantra suggested for the day.
which is, I trust in divine timing and allow clarity to find me when the moment is right.
That really pulls it all together, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Trusting the timing, allowing clarity rather than forcing it. It covers both the astrological potential for unexpected turns and the tarot's message about delays.
It really does encapsulate the core advice.
Okay, so let's wrap this up for you. Today seems to be a day where energy builds, especially later on. There's potential for unexpected shifts, those lightning strikes.
Yeah, so flexibility is going to be your friend, finding that balance between structure and freedom.
And be prepared for potential delays or maybe some communication hiccups thanks to that rider reversed energy. So pack some extra patience. Double check things.
But remember, those pauses, that stillness, might actually hold value. It's not necessarily a negative thing. It's an invitation to slow down, listen differently, and trust the unfolding.
Hopefully this deep dive gives you a good handle on navigating all that. A bit of a shortcut to understanding the day's potential.
And maybe one last thing for you to think about today. How often does that feeling of pressure, that need to act now, actually make you miss something important? Something that only reveals itself when things slow down, or when an unexpected delay forces you to look differently.
Ooh, that's a good one. What if those missed opportunities or delays aren't misses at all, but redirections? Something to chew on.
Definitely something to consider as you move through your day.